3D printing can help supplement traditional manufacturing or just be a help in your home shop. Here's an example of a part I made to help machine some pretty tricky parts, an ID expansion clamp.
Safe build stuff!
At a previous job, I was tasked with figuring out how to machine a rather tricky and somewhat delicate part, and we only had a 3-axis CNC machine to do the job. The part was a ring that held a bearing with a spherical outside surface. Because it's a thin wall ring and the outside surface is spherical, you can't clamp on the outside. The only way to hold it is by the ID. ID expansion clamps are nothing new. In fact, they're quite ubiquitous in the machining industry exactly for applications like this. However, finding an off-the-shelf clamp that would fit our part geometry and not break the budget proved impossible, at least at the time. 3D printing to the rescue. I designed this part based on the design of other ID expansion clamps that are available on the market, but with geometry specific to match the part we were machining. The idea here is to have an aluminum base that the 3D printed clamp locates onto. Then the part slides over the clamp and you just tighten this flathead screw to spread the fingers and apply pressure to the inside of the ring. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of these parts in action because this was a part I made several years ago and I guess it just never occurred to me to shoot footage of it then. You might be thinking that there's no way a plastic part is going to be strong enough for this job, and that turns out to not be the case. I just used plain PLA, which is actually a pretty decent material for the job because it's quite strong and stiff. We didn't have to worry about the heat deflection of PLA because we were machining these aluminum parts with coolant. Sure, PLA can be brittle and maybe these clamps won't last all that long, but we can just 3D print more, so I would actually just have a few extra in stock to sort of stay ahead in case some failed during manufacturing. So that was just a quick example of how I use 3D printing in the machine shop, but I'm really curious to hear about other solutions that you guys may have found either in your machine shop or in your home shop. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.